Hey everyone, and welcome to another deep dive. Today we're going to be talking about something truly incredible. We're talking about the Antikythera Mechanism,
Yes.
which has been called the world's oldest computer,
It's pretty amazing.
and it was found in a Roman shipwreck over a century ago.
Over a century ago.
And it's got all these experts just like scratching their heads like, how
it really is remarkable.
is this even possible?
And the thing is, it dates back over 2,000 years
Yeah,
to a time when
think about it.
supposedly all they had was like a hammer and a chisel.
Yeah, like finding a self-driving chariot in Pompeii or something.
Exactly. It makes you wonder what else we've gotten wrong about history.
Totally.
You know? I mean, this thing is just like screaming at us. Like,
Yeah.
hey, guys.
Think again.
Yeah, rethink those old assumptions
Yeah?
about what ancient technology was capable of.
Yeah.
Because we always think about, like,
We tend to picture
it's
our
really-
ancestors as,
just like,
kind of fumbling around. Yeah, with basic tools.
with basic tool.
But this device is like, no.
It's a whole other level of
You're
sophistication.
way smarter than you thought.
Yeah.
So let's rewind back to 1900,
Okay.
when this thing was first discovered.
All right.
So picture this, right?
Yeah.
You've got a bunch of sponge divers.
Okay.
They're off the coast of Antikythera, this tiny little island in the Mediterranean.
Right.
And they stumble upon this Roman-era shipwreck.
It happens all the time.
Yeah, nothing unusual, right?
Sure.
But then,
But then,
amongst all the usual stuff,
yeah.
the amphorae, the statues,
The pottery.
they pull up this bizarre,
Yeah.
gear-filled contraption.
They must have been so confused.
I bet they were like, what
Like, what is this?
is this?
Have we found?
Some kind of Roman, like,
I don't even know.
pocket watch?
Yeah. He's like, did the Romans have some secret technology we don't know about?
Or was there some time traveler who, like,
Yeah.
dropped their
Who lost this?
iPhone or something
Exactly.
back in time?
And to make things even more mysterious,
Yeah.
the shipwreck was Roman,
Right.
but the device itself was clearly older,
Okay.
so it must have been looted from somewhere else.
So this thing has already been, like, on an adventure.
It has a story to tell.
Yeah.
It's got a path.
This is like layer upon layer of intrigue
Yeah.
at this point.
It's like an archaeological onion.
Right. And so for decades,
For decades.
this thing just sat there,
Confusing everyone.
confusing everyone. And then X-ray technology comes along, and suddenly we get a glimpse inside.
We can see what's going on.
Yeah.
It's mind-blowing.
Yeah, it's insane.
What they found was incredible.
So what did they find?
Well, the surviving pieces alone
Okay.
have at least 27 gears.
27 gears.
Yeah, and experts believe that the complete device
Wow.
might have had over 70.
So 70 gears, my alarm clock can barely handle 2.
And it can't tell the time?
And it doesn't even work half the time.
Think-
This is a whole other level.
This was precision engineering.
And you said something about the gear teeth being odd numbers.
Yeah, that's another interesting detail.
Why is that a big deal?
Well, it all comes down to precision
Okay.
and durability. You see, when gears with an even number of teeth
Yeah.
mesh together,
Uh,
they tend to wear down faster
why is that?
because the same teeth are constantly hitting each other.
Oh, okay.
But with odd numbers,
Yeah.
the contact points are always shifting.
So it's more evenly distributed.
Exactly, so it lasts longer.
So they were thinking long term,
Yeah, they wanted this thing to last.
which ironically it did.
It did.
They were serious about their engineering.
Absolutely, even down to the tiniest details.
Okay, so we've established this thing is like
Super complicating.
crazy complicated.
Yeah.
But the big question is,
What did it do?
yeah, what did it actually do?
Well, researchers have spent a lot of time
Okay.
analyzing the gear ratios
Uh.
and inscriptions. And they've determined that it was an astronomical calculator.
An astronomical calculator.
Yeah, and a very accurate one at that.
So they weren't just like, you know,
not just for like grocery lists.
yeah, keeping track of like birthdays or,
Oh, no.
you know, what's for dinner tonight.
This was high-level stuff.
So they were mapping out the movements
Of the stars.
of stars and planets. And the planets.
Yeah.
I mean, think about that.
Imagine.
They were creating a device
Back then.
that could predict the phases of the moon,
Yeah.
calculate eclipses,
Eclipses.
and even the fact that the moon's orbit
is elliptical.
isn't a perfect circle,
It's more of an oval.
an elliptical orbit.
That's right.
They knew about that back then.
It seems they did.
I'm telling you, time travelers.
Well, maybe not time travelers,
Okay.
but it does challenge our assumptions
Yeah, it really does.
about ancient knowledge.
Okay, so we've got this mind-blowingly accurate astronomical calculator.
Yes.
But who made it?
Ah, that's the million-dollar question. And the trail gets a bit murky here.
Yeah.
But there are some clues
Right.
that point to the island of Rhodes,
Rhodes.
as a possible origin.
Rhodes, like where the Colossus was.
Exactly, the Colossus of Rhodes.
One of the 7 wonders of the ancient world.
That's right.
That massive bronze statue.
Yeah, ancient writers described Rhodes as a hub of engineering and innovation.
Okay.
They even mentioned something called automata,
Automata. What's that?
basically ancient robots.
Ancient robots. Okay, now I'm back on the time travel train.
Well, I wouldn't go that far.
But
It does suggest,
if they could build giant bronze statues,
and maybe robots.
and maybe robots,
Yeah,
an astronomical calculator doesn't seem that
it
far-fetched.
puts things into perspective.
It really does.
And then there's the connection to Archimedes,
Wait, Archimedes, like the Eureka,
the one and only.
the bathtub guy?
That's him, a brilliant mathematician,
Okay.
engineer, and astronomer.
Yeah.
And guess what? He lived around the same time as this device.
Really?
Yeah,
So he could be the one behind it.
it's possible.
Was he just hanging out on roads, building astronomical calculators
Who knows?
in his spare time between, like, inventing calculus and...
And figuring out buoyancy.
Mm-hmm.
We do know he built a large astronomical device,
He did.
but his was water-powered.
Interesting.
And there's this ancient Roman account
Okay.
that mentions Archimedes creating similar devices.
Okay.
And one of them was taken by the Romans.
So could this be it?
Maybe the missing Archimedes device.
The plot thickens.
It's a historical mystery,
It really is.
with the Antikythera Mechanism at the center.
It's like a whodunit,
Exactly.
but instead of a candlestick,
It's an astronomical calculator.
it's an astronomical calculator.
Yeah.
All right, so we may never know for sure if Archimedes had a hand in creating this thing,
True.
but just the possibility,
Adds to the intrigue,
it really does.
doesn't it?
It's fascinating.
It is.
Okay, so we've got this ancient astronomical calculator that might have been built by Archimedes,
Mm-hmm.
found in a Roman shipwreck,
Right.
but stolen even before that.
Yeah.
It's like a historical game of hot potato with this thing.
It really makes you think about how interconnected the ancient world was. I mean, ideas and objects traveled vast distances.
Right through trade routes,
Exactly.
conquest and all that.
Yeah.
It makes you wonder, like, what other treasures and knowledge are out there?
What other secrets are waiting to be uncovered?
Yeah, just lost to history.
Lost and found throughout time.
Like, imagine if someone stumbled upon Da Vinci's workshop notes
Oh, wow.
for a flying machine or something.
That would be amazing.
Yeah,
Or like a
right.
blueprint for a self-cleaning toga.
Okay, now that would be revolutionary.
That's what I'm talking about.
But let's get back to
Back to the Antikythera Mechanism.
the Antikythera Mechanism.
Yeah.
We keep talking about these gears, but what were they actually made of?
Well, the primary material was bronze,
Bronze.
which was pretty common back then for tools and stuff.
It's pretty durable.
Yeah, and relatively easy to work with.
So they weren't just like hammering away at chunks of bronze.
No, they were more sophisticated than that.
Okay, so they were casting it
Yeah, they would use molds and other metalworking techniques.
to create these intricate parts,
Precisely.
including those gears.
Especially those gears.
I mean, remember that 53-tooth gear you mentioned?
the one for the moon's elliptical orbit?
Yeah.
Yeah.
The source material said it was accurate. For like 9 decimal places?
That's incredible precision.
How is that even possible?
It really speaks to their understanding of math and astronomy.
I mean, I can barely get my grocery bill right
Yeah.
to 2 decimal places.
It's mind-boggling, isn't it?
It really is.
They were able to translate that knowledge into a physical device.
It's making my head spin.
I know it's a lot to take in.
But let's talk numbers for a second.
Okay.
We know about the 127-tooth gear
Right.
and its connection to that.
19-year metonic cycle.
Yeah, the 19-year metonic cycle,
Yeah.
which I still don't fully understand.
Well, it's all about syncing up the sun and the moon.
Okay.
It's like a cosmic calendar.
A cosmic calendar. Okay.
That keeps everything in harmony.
That makes a little bit more sense.
Yeah.
But the source material also mentions some other numbers.
Like 235 and 223.
Yeah, what's the deal with those?
But those numbers are really important
Okay.
for understanding the device's complexity. So the 235 markings on that 127-tooth gear,
Yeah.
they correspond to the lunar months
Oh, we
in the
do.
metonic cycle. And the 223 relates to the Saros cycle.
The Saros cycle, that's a new one.
It's a period of about 18 years and 11 days.
Okay.
And after that cycle, the sun, earth, and moon all return to roughly the same position.
So it's like cosmic clockwork.
Exactly. And this cycle is really useful for predicting eclipses.
Whoa, so they were predicting eclipses.
It seems so.
So-
Their understanding of celestial mechanics was really advanced.
That's incredible.
It is.
It makes you wonder what they could have commanded.
What if they had our technology?
Yeah, if they had, like, smartphones
Hmm.
and Wi-Fi and all that.
Imagine ancient Greeks live tweeting a solar eclipse.
I can see the headlines now. Socrates predicts eclipse, throws shade at the sophists, or like Plato posts philosophical musings. On lunar eclipse gets like 1,000 likes.
That's hilarious.
Okay, I'm getting carried away. But this whole thing is making me rethink my entire perception of ancient history.
I think that's the beauty of discoveries like this.
It really is.
They challenge our assumptions
Yeah.
and remind us that the past is full of surprises.
Totally. But let's address the elephant in the room.
Okay.
Or maybe the mystery in the shipwreck.
The mystery in the shipwreck. I like that.
Why go through all this trouble to create such a complex and precise device?
That's a great question.
Was it just to show off?
Well, it certainly would have been a status symbol.
Like, hey, check out my awesome astronomical calculator.
Exactly. But there are other theories, too.
Okay, lay them on me.
Well, one possibility is education.
Education?
It could have been a teaching tool
Oh,
for astronomy students.
like a high-tech planetarium.
Precisely imagine using this device to demonstrate the movements of the celestial bodies
That would be amazing.
and predict eclipses and teach about the cosmos.
It must have been a pretty exclusive classroom, though.
Yeah, if only a handful of these devices were made.
Which brings us to another theory.
Which is
Maybe it was commissioned by a wealthy patron.
like a ruler or something?
Yeah, someone fascinated by astronomy. Who wanted the best of the best?
So it was a combination of education and bragging rights.
It's certainly possible.
Like, behold my incredible knowledge of the cosmos and my ability to commission this device that proves it.
It would have been a symbol of power and intellect.
It's like the ancient Greek version of a luxury sports car. But instead of going from 0 to 60, it goes from new moon to full moon with pinpoint accuracy.
I like that analogy.
But there's one more theory,
There is.
and it's a little bit more speculative.
Okay, I'm intrigued.
Some researchers have suggested that the Antikythera mechanism might have had a navigational purpose. Navigational, like a GPS for ancient sailors?
Yeah. Did they have satellites back then, too?
Not quite, but the idea is that it could have been used to determine latitude and longitude
Okay.
and track the positions of stars.
So they could navigate the open seas.
Precisely.
That's kind of hard to believe.
It's a controversial theory.
I mean, I get lost. Trying to find the spice aisle at the grocery store.
I understand the skepticism.
Could they really have navigated with such accuracy using this device?
Well, there's no direct evidence to support it,
Okay.
but the Antikythera mechanism does incorporate a lot of astronomical knowledge.
That could be relevant to navigation.
Exactly.
So it's possible,
It's definitely within the realm of possibility.
but still very much speculation,
that's part of the mystery.
which honestly makes it even more fascinating.
I agree, the unknown is always intriguing.
I'm kind of hooked on this navigational theory. Imagine ancient Greek sailors out on the open ocean consulting this device to chart their course by the stars,
It's like a scene from the Odyssey.
but with a high-tech twist.
Exactly.
But before we get too lost at sea, with our imaginations, let's take a step back
Okay.
and think about what this tells us about our own understanding of history.
It's a powerful reminder that our assumptions about the past are often incomplete.
Yeah, and that there's always more to discover.
And that's what makes it so exciting.
It's like we're constantly finding new pieces of a giant jigsaw puzzle.
And with each new piece,
Yeah.
the picture becomes clearer.
And more complex and more fascinating.
The Antikythera mechanism is a perfect example of that.
It really challenges our timeline of technological development.
It makes you wonder what else is out there.
Exactly what other wonders are waiting to be unearthed.
Okay, I'm officially obsessed with this thing.
I understand completely.
I need to see pictures, 3D models, the whole 9 yards.
It's a truly captivating artifact.
Well, on that note, I think we need a moment to absorb all this amazing information. But don't go anywhere, listeners, because we'll be right back. To wrap up our deep dive into the Antikythera mechanism.
I'm looking forward to it. All right, deep divers. We're back, and before the break, we were talking about all the possible uses for the Antikythera mechanism.
Education bragging rights, maybe even navigation.
So many possibilities.
It's really fascinating to think that it could have served multiple purposes.
Right, like maybe it was used for teaching,
Demonstrating astronomical knowledge.
to like awestruck audiences.
And maybe even just for the sheer joy of watching this intricate device accurately predict celestial events.
It's like the ancient Greek equivalent of a high-end entertainment system.
Mm.
But instead of streaming the latest philosophical debate, it's streaming the movements of the cosmos.
I love that analogy.
And imagine the reactions of people who witnessed this device in action.
Oh, I know.
For them, the movements of the heavens weren't just scientific phenomena.
Right, they held deep cultural and religious significance.
To have a device that could track those movements with such precision must have seemed almost magical.
It makes you wonder if the creators themselves fully grasped the magnitude of their accomplishment.
Did they realize they were building something that would still be baffling and inspiring people thousands of years later?
That's a question that will likely remain unanswered.
It's a tantalizing thought, though.
It really is.
Were they driven by a purely practical purpose? Or were they also motivated by a sense of awe and wonder at the universe?
I suspect it was a combination of both.
Right.
A brilliant solution to a specific problem, but also a testament to human curiosity and ingenuity.
It's a reminder that the drive to explore and understand the world around us is timeless.
Absolutely.
From ancient stargazers to modern-day scientists, we've always been fascinated by the mysteries of the cosmos.
The Antikythera Mechanism is a powerful symbol of that enduring quest for knowledge.
Okay, but enough waxing philosophical. What's happening with the Antikythera Mechanism today?
Well, it's currently housed in the National Archaeological Museum in Athens,
Okay.
where it's carefully preserved and studied.
And what about the research?
Researchers are using cutting-edge imaging techniques to reveal even more details about its construction and operation.
So they're still piecing together the puzzle.
Exactly. It's an ongoing process of discovery.
Wow.
And every new finding sheds more light on this incredible artifact.
That's amazing.
And there have been several successful attempts to create working replicas,
Really?
which have been invaluable in helping us understand how the device functioned.
It's like bringing ancient technology back to life.
It really is.
Those replicas are a testament to the ingenuity of both the original creators and the modern-day researchers who are dedicated to unraveling its secrets.
I completely agree.
This has been an incredible journey, from a shipwreck off a tiny Greek island to a device that's reshaping our understanding of history and technology.
The Antikythera Mechanism is proof that there's always more to learn
More to explore.
and more to wonder at.
It fills me with a sense of excitement and a healthy dose of humility.
I know what you mean.
We may never fully understand the Antikythera Mechanism,
Yeah.
but that's part of what makes it so captivating.
It truly is a remarkable artifact.
It's a window into a past that was far more sophisticated than we often give it credit for.
It challenges our assumptions about ancient civilizations.
It really does.
And inspires us to keep exploring and pushing the boundaries of our own knowledge.
So to our listeners, we encourage you to delve deeper into the world of the Antikythera Mechanism.
There are fantastic images, 3D models, and documentaries out there.
Yes, go check them out.
Who knows, maybe you'll be the one to unlock its remaining secrets.
And until next time, keep exploring the mysteries of the past.
And keep your minds open to the endless possibilities of human ingenuity.